guys. Hi, everybody. Hi. Okay. Now, um, here I am, 66 years old, right? I'm a big Beatles fan, big Paul McCartney fan. Okay. So, yes, me and my friend and her son, we went to go see Paul McCartney in Columbus, Ohio. Ohio. Which, which Paul said means what did he say it meant? I forgot what he said. In Japanese, it means something. But anyway, so yes, we did go. It's a whole big, long process. I'm so glad I went because not only did I see my love, he does it good. Anyway, I saw the legend, you know. Um, so we went there. We left about 11ish 11:15. We got there somewhere around 3:30 or something like that. And we went to the hotel, and the hotel was pretty nice. I couldn't, it was Red Roof Inn Plus, but it was pretty nice. The bed was really nice. There were no bugs or anything. It was good. It was a good little place. It was about a quarter mile away from the arena. So we got there, freshened up a little bit. And it's funny because walking to the arena, because I am such a big Beatles fan, a big Beatles nut, big Paul McCartney nut. And I was wearing a t shirt that I had made. Oh, by the way, this one was the one they were selling. Let me see if I could show you. This one was the one they were selling, the Got Back Tour 2025. This is, of course, him as in the wings. Hi, Ringo. Say Ringo. Anyway, that's my throwback I have. There's Paul right there. Anyway, um, so I was wearing the shirt that I had made, which is black. I don't know if I showed you guys or not, but it was black, long sleeved, and it had young Paul in the front and old Paul in the back. So we're walking to the thing, to the arena, and this young couple, they must have been about 30, 35. They had two little kids with them, and they were walking toward us. And the girl stops me and she said, the lady, she said, I have failed my children. And I said, what? I'm thinking, what are you talking about? And she said, oh, by the way, my hair is wet. Took a shower, that's why I have it up like this. But anyway, and she said, I failed my children. We were walking toward you, and my little girl said, Mom, who's that? And pointed to my shirt. And she said, that's Paul McCartney. And my daughter said, who? She said, I'm sorry, I failed my children. And I said, well, it's not too late to teach them who Paul McCartney is. So go for it. It was so cute. But the shirt was a big hit. Um, it was a big hit. It just, everybody knew who it was. And then we got to the arena area, and I'd say it's about five, something like that. And we got there and they were selling the merchandise, of course, and you have to stand in line to get the merchandise. They were selling them outside and inside, but we were so early, we wanted to get the merchandise. So I bought this shirt and then the official one, which is, I'll show you guys another time. It's black and it has blue, it has him in blue, like the now Paul, and he's in blue and it's in like clouds. It's kind of, I don't know. I wasn't a fan of it, but I got it anyway. So I got those two shirts and then I decided to go and stand in line. Well, no, what happened was we wanted to get there early because we wanted to see Paul drive in. So we got there, and I heard that he comes in around 5:30 for an 8 o'clock show. So Joe decided let's go, behind the arena. So we run down there and we saw this old guy who looked like he worked at the parking garage. And my friend went up to him and asked him, said, "Hey, where can we see Paul driving in?" And he goes, "Well, go through the parking garage and go down." And I don't know what he was saying, but he said, and then there's like 10 people already there waiting for him. So we ran through the parking lot. Then we saw a couple with three kids. One was like a teenager, and they're running up and down. And I said, "You guys, are you looking for Paul McCartney?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I go, "Us too. The guy said to go this way and blah blah blah." So we found this ledge, like looking over where people drive in, and there's a gate and everything. So we were watching for him there, and on this side of us was like the what do you call that? The loading dock kind of thing. And they had all his buses and stuff lined up there. So we're standing there watching, and somebody said, "There he is," and whatever. So we went. We should have gone left and down some like 10 stairs. Okay, that's where all the people were standing, but we didn't know. So we went down the other way, and we were over by where the cars just were coming into the parking lot, and the thing was. So we went over there, and we ended up on a gate on a ledge facing the parking lot. And over on the other side of the parking lot, which wasn't far, in comes Paul McCartney. In comes the first was the a police escort, and then it was his, and we heard all the people screaming, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" And it's by the time we got there, my friend took his video camera to shoot it, and he didn't. He just got the car going into the parking garage. I saw him as he turned the corner into the parking. It's all coming toward us. Turned the corner into the parking lot. I saw his hand waving in the top of his little white head. And but he didn't get the thing. So we were like, "Oh my god, oh my god." He waved. We didn't see his face. We just saw his hand, his arm, and then he put his arm in by the time he drove past us into the parking garage entrance was right there, right by us. But he came around the corner and was. So anyway, so we just missed him, but I still saw his arm. So we walked to the stairs where we should have gone in the first place, but we didn't know. And we walked down there and we saw the people still, and they were all like, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh." So we took pictures. They had a big poster up there where he drives in. So we took some pictures, and if you go on my other things, you'll see all those pictures and stuff. Anyway, so we saw this one girl, young girl, and I think her aunt or her mom or something, and they were right there. So they saw him, and they had a video of him waving right at him. So we asked him for that video because we were there. We just were not there. So I figured I can take the video and say that, I saw him waving, but I didn't see his little face waving. And I think in her video, you can see his wife, Nancy, sitting next to him. She comes to every show. So, anyway, and that girl, I forgot maybe my friend knows, but I forgot. She has a band, and I forgot what city she comes from, Kentucky or something, but she has a band, and it's all Beatles. And they're young. She looks like she's about 25, maybe to 30 at the most. And, oh, she loves the Beatles so much. So anyway, so that's kind of cool to see and to hear. So anyway, so we went back around the front, and then I saw there was maybe about, I don't know, maybe about six people waiting for the doors to open. The doors didn't open until 6:30, and I think it was 5:15 or something like that by the time we got to the front. And I said, "Well, you guys, I want to stand here. I don't want to be too far in line when the doors open." So they went back to the hotel. to get their phones charging. And that's another thing too. Downtown, I don't know if it's all downtown areas, but there, boy, I was losing my juice and my phone like crazy, and so were they, which was unusual for them. They both have iPhones. I have an Android, and I thought maybe it was just my Android's old and stupid, but no, they were losing juice too. So they went back to go charge. And I stood there and, talked to some people and for a long time and then sound check started. It's about 6 o'clock. And I heard sound and we were right there by the glass doors, right there. So I just told the people in line behind me, I'm just gonna go here and listen and just put my ear to the glass and I heard him sound checking Lady Madonna and coming up, coming up. Okay. I heard him sound check that one. And what was the other one? Come Together? No, not Come Together. Get Back. I think it was Get Back. And Come Together, he doesn't sing that one. But anyway, but when we were standing in line at the merchandise going back, I met these two nice ladies behind me, and they were from a town right outside where I live. And so we were talking to them about all this stuff and everything, and she was cool. She sent me the set. I gave her my number, and she sent me the set list, um, which was cool because you can tell what he's going to sing. Now I shouldn't have done this, but I was so excited to go to this concert that I was watching the concerts in on YouTube, over the past weekends. So the set list was the same as those concerts. And okay, so so my friends came back and they opened the doors right around 6:30 and we went in and uh I was so tired from walking there, running around the arena, back of the arena trying to find him, which thank you Lord we did. I was so thankful for that. And then standing there for an hour and a half and waiting for them to open the doors. But um but it was cool to hear the sound check. Not very many people could hear that sound check, so that was cool. Um, so we went in. I got a water right away, and talked to the guy that was um, at the stand. Kind of a young guy. He looked like maybe he was about well, younger than me, but looked like he was about 40. But he was so excited to be there. That was his first time working at the arena, and he couldn't wait. He couldn't wait to hear Paul McCartney and just God, it was so incredible looking around. Oh, and then by the time my friends came in line before they opened the doors, I looked behind us. Oh my gosh, golly. I mean, it was probably a half a mile down with people standing. And they had like one, two, three, four. They had like six doors to go into, and just tons of people, line up of people. So anyway, so we go in and we find well, we were looking around like on the not so busy sections and we walked in and we saw the side of the stage where they have like a lot of handicapped people, coming in wheelchairs and stuff. So we looked at all that stuff and see how what their view is like there. And then we walked around to our seats, which weren't bad at all. They weren't bad at all. We There was like the stage and then the stage and then you had the main floor and then you had the sound sound and light people sitting right there in this rectangular holding cell. And then you had us right there at the upper level. And it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad at all. My little friends that were behind me, they were in main floor, and somebody else was in main floor, and they said that they couldn't see it all when people started standing. They couldn't see it all because they weren't up. like we were slanted up a little bit. The only thing is, I don't know if it's like this in all the arenas in the country, but boy, those seats were small. And I'm not a small, I'm a big girl, I'm not a big girl like, 1,000-pound sister big, but I'm a big girl. And body wise, shape wise, and tall. And my friend is about, I don't know how tall are you, honey? She's about 5 feet. She's a little girl. And then her son's a big guy too. He's tall and stuff. And then next to me sat this other big guy and his big wife. And they're sitting next to me. So through the whole concert, that guy was like, he was like holding his arms like this and putting his hand in his pocket, and his elbow kept smacking my boob. So finally I leaned over to him and I said, "Excuse me, could you please just move over a little bit more towards your wife? Because my poor friend is being squished. I'm being squished. You're hitting my boob." He just kind of grunted, and I mean, we had a nice, lovely little conversation before the concert, but I don't think he realized because we were kind of on a slant, and he was, I don't think he realized how far he was standing into my space. But the chairs were really small, and they had cup holders, which was cool, but they were really small. And then the seat in front of me, when I stood up, when it got dark and stuff, because I have these stupid trifocals. I don't know if you can see the trifocals. Anyway, yeah. So I have trifocals. Okay. So when I'm in the dark, it's hard for me to see. Like I have to go to see down to the floor. I have to look out this part of my glasses. So I have to go like this, and if I don't, then everything's a little squiggly. So what I was trying to do is what I did for the Doobie Brothers at an outdoor concert. I took my phone and I wanted to go like this, you know, and take a video of me singing with Paul. So I saw him on the screen, so I would take a picture and me and him singing. I couldn't do that. It was such a tight space, and my feet are so big and bulky that I couldn't turn myself around in the dark to do that. I was getting dizzy. And then I went back to hold on to the guy's seat in front of me, and it was so far down that I couldn't find it. Oh, I was like, oh, maybe I better not try that again. So I didn't do that. But man, I mean, we were sitting there for quite a while. And then have a friend that um, was coming with his wife and 2 kids, and he just got there just before the lights went down and everything. And finally I found him because he I was in section 107, he was in 111, so he was right around where I could see him. And it's kind of like, a horseshoe. We're around the horseshoe, and I could see him, and he came in and he saw me and he was like, "Eh," and we were jumping up and down like a bunch of kids. I mean, it was fun. It was fun to see him. And then I saw the ladies behind us in the line, and I texted her and I said, "Where are you?" And she stood up and she had orange on, so I waved to her. I found her and she found me. So that was pretty cool to see that. And then the lights went down and I don't know. I was just like, "Oh my God, here it is. Here it is. I'm going to see my Paul McCartney in concert." Well, he came out and everybody's of course screaming and crying, and he had on a black jacket, like a suit coat jacket and black pants, and of course his little white hair. I wish he didn't have that beard though. He's got like this little white beard, and it looks scruffy, and I don't know. He's got such a beautiful face still. I think he should have kept it off, but that's just me. Anyway, so he came out and he said hello and everything, and I was just like dying. I was like, "Oh my God." And then they started Help. And so he sang Help, and I'm like going, "Oh my God, it's Paul McCartney." And I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to like, "Oh my gosh, it's Paul McCartney. I can't believe it." And so then after that, he sang um, Coming Up, and couple other Wings songs that I wasn't really too familiar with, but when I got home, my dealer, I call him my dealer. He gets me all my Beatles albums and stuff, and he had 7 albums, no, 8 albums for me that I purchased from him, and then I heard those songs. I've heard them before, but I really didn't know them. Like oh, what were they? 1985 and Let Me Roll It, and there was another one, I can't remember which one they were. I mean, I enjoyed them and I did hear them before, but I wasn't really paying attention back in the day. So he sang all those. He sang, oh, God, he just sang so many cool ones. Then, like, about, oh, by the way, he sang 35 songs in over 3 hours. No breaks. He didn't take a drink of water. Nothing. He didn't have a potty break. Nothing. The only thing he did was after about 6, 7 songs, he took his jacket off. He goes, "This is the only, what did he say? This is the only wardrobe change you're going to see." And he took the jacket off. And of course, everybody's screaming, like, "Take it off, Paul." Take it all off. But anyway, I don't think anybody wants to see an 83-year-old doing that. But anyway, but he was so cute, though. He was just hamming it up for everybody. And he played his bass, plays it just like he did in the old days. I mean, beautifully. He's such a talented man. I mean, he could play anything. Then he got up on the platform. They raised the platform that he was standing on. They raised it up, and he it was just him and his acoustic guitar raised up, and they played Blackbird, and they had all the bird things going on behind him, and on the platform, like in front of the platform. It's not, I started bawling my eyes out because it was just him. Nobody through the whole concert was singing with him, singing his part with him. He's got the original guys that he's had ever since after Wings. I mean, just the at least the 3 guys, the guitar player, the 2 guitar players, and the drummer. And then he's got the 3 horny guys, he calls them, horn guys. But nobody sang with him. He sang his part. The one guy, Rusty, sang, John Lennon's part, and the other guy, forgot his name, Ray or something like that. Anyway, he sang George Harrison's part. So, or vice versa. I don't know who sang what, but anyway, but it was just him on that platform during Blackbird, and I bawled my eyes out because it wasn't the song per se. The song's about segregation back in the '60s, and about this black girl singer. He said Blackbird because, um, well, in England, that's what they call girls. That's what they called girls back then, birds. So, anyway, so it was about, you know, blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. Okay, so, um, it's that kind of a thing. Like just let's just break out and sing your song and whatever. Then he goes into, how segregation was going on back then, and they all decided that they weren't going to play at this one place somewhere in like Tennessee or something, and they said nope, never mind. If it's going to be segregated, we're not playing. So they decided to make it all together, and so that's why he sang that song. But I'm telling you, it wasn't the song, the meaning of the song, it was him. This was Paul McCartney, the legend, the Beatle, the genius, the beauty. Okay. He got up there and he was singing all by himself. He was singing this beautiful song that he wrote. Um, he wrote by himself, basically. and he was up there singing all by himself. And I'm thinking, wow, I am watching history here because this is probably the last time he'll ever be playing that song for us and by himself. His voice is a little squiggly right now. Um, and if you hear some of his later, like Wings stuff, you can tell he was getting a little squiggly because, I mean, he screamed. He screamed a lot during the Beatles. He screamed a lot during the Wings era. He did a lot of screaming. So his voice, of course, at 83 is going to be the. So, but I'm telling you, besides that, and then I heard somebody said online that he had a cold that night. So I'm thinking, of course. I mean, the other the other concerts that you see online, you don't. I mean, it doesn't. He didn't sound like he did that night, but he still sounded good for old Paul McCartney. Still sounded good. And so after that one, he sang here here and here and here and now or whatever. It was that song to John Lennon that he wrote. Um, and then after right, and of course bawling, right? And then right after that, they sang Now and Then, which if you guys haven't seen it, go and pick bring it up on YouTube with the video. Um, what happened was, I'll just give you a brief summary. Yoko Ono, after John died, she found this tape and it had three songs on it, I think. And they released the two songs. I can't remember what they were. And then the other song was Now and Then, and it was John playing at the piano. And so Ringo and George and Paul got together and they tried to play around it, tried to record. And back then, I think it was in the 90s. No, no, I can't remember when they first got together. It was in the 80s, I think, like late 80s. And back then they didn't have the ability to extract the vocals from the piano. So they couldn't really do anything with it. But George, they recorded George's guitar playing on for some of it and Ringo's drums and whatever. So they recorded all this stuff and then George got frustrated and said, "You know what? Let's scrap this. This is going nowhere. We can't get John's voice on this. So let's just scrap it." So he quit. He quit it and then after he died in 2001, I believe, um Ringo and Paul got back together and got all of his recording and stuff like that. And they had the ability at that time to extract John's voice from the piano and just, isolate it. So they took they took his voice. Paul, of course, recorded the harmony, and then he replayed the piano on it and the bass. Um, they didn't use John's piano playing. Yeah, but they had George's guitar, they had Ringo's drums, and they had Paul singing harmony and whatever. So it's such a cute song. It is cute. It's a cute video because they put in old Paul and old Ringo singing, and George playing the guitar in that session, and they had back in the 90s, so George would have been about what 50, I don't know, something like that. But anyway, so but they had old Paul and old Ringo, and then they took young George dressed in his Sergeant Pepper outfit and young John dressed in Sergeant Peppery stuff, and they're all four singing together in a line. And then they had some things where they had strings and an orchestra, and then John was up there being silly and going like this, and just they took little clips from little things that they've done in the past. And one of the funny parts I saw was old Paul sitting there playing his bass, and behind him was the Ringo's drum set from the olden days, and they were dismantling the young Beatles were dismantling the drum set and taking away the cymbals and stuff. And Paul was playing something on the bass, and then young Paul was taking like one of the cymbals away, and he kind of looked like this and went, "No, no, that's not how you do it," or or something like that. It was really kind of cute how they took those certain things that fit in what they were doing now. So it's a really cute video, but boy, there were a that couple just like you just wanted to just, I mean, I was just bawling. That's all I could say. I was just bawling. So then after that, so look up that video, you guys, because it's cute and the song is really pretty. And then after that, he kept going up, up like about 4 or 5 steps up to his piano, and he has a piano up those steps, and then he has one that they swirl around, and it's got like the hippie colors and stuff in the front of the piano. Um, so he was running up and down those steps, and it didn't have a railing. Didn't have a railing. Made me nervous, but he had a little bounce, and he was just bouncing up and down the steps. He was so cute. And then he got up there and he was singing um, "Let It Be," which kind of made me cry a little bit. And then he sang up there on that piano. He sang "Maybe I'm Amazed," which I was a little disappointed because they played the video. Um, Okay, they played a video of just him in that cute picture of him. He's all hairy and everything, and he's got a jacket on, and then you unzip it and you look, and there's little Mary, the baby Mary, in there. Okay, and he was keeping her warm, and he was holding her in his jacket. And then there's little Heather, Linda's child from her first marriage. She was kind of like hanging on to him, and he was singing "Maybe I'm Amazed." Well, there was no Linda in that, and that song was Linda's song. I was kind of bummed about that. And some girl online, uh, I had mentioned that, and she said, "Well, maybe his wife now, he is married. Maybe his wife now didn't want Linda." Listen, that was Linda passed away. Linda was a big source in his life for life and love and his music. I mean, she was there with him constantly, day in and day out, and they loved each other deeply, and they had a lot of stuff. They had 4 kids together, five with Heather. He adopted Heather. But why do you take her out of that video? I didn't get it. Now, she was in the Get Back video when they were singing Get Back. She was in that one a lot. Okay. Um, and that's fine, but they didn't, I mean, they could have at least, focused on her somehow. I don't know. I've just felt bad about that. I didn't like that one. And if his now wife, who's around my age, by the way, is so insecure about what Linda was to him in his life, then she's not a good person. But I don't think that's happening. I heard she's a very nice woman and very supportive of him and everything he does. And she's there at every concert. And he mentions her. He mentions her and he waves to her, points to her. Um, she doesn't seem like that kind of a person to do that. Why be jealous of a memory, a beautiful memory? Why be jealous of that? I mean, he's got grandkids now and stuff, and probably great grandkids. But anyway, so that was the one disappointment. But and he can't sing anymore. But he can hit those high notes like in Maybe I'm Amazed. It's like ooh, he did that. Well, not that bad, but you know what I mean. he did that. He could still sing those high notes, still sing them. He can't belt them out. Like he wouldn't be able to do "Oh Darlin'" or anything like that. No, but he can still hit them, and he can still sing. He sang "Helter Skelter" great, and that's a screamy, mimi. I mean, he still did that. He really did. Um, so there were some songs that he could do, some songs that he was kind of like, okay, Paul, let the guy sing with you. But you know what? The audience was singing with him. We all sang. Those parts that we thought that he wasn't going to be able to handle, we sang. When he sang "Oh blah dee, oh blah da, life goes on, bruh," everybody. I mean, even I did this, and I didn't even see this on the concerts that I was watching online. But we were all singing "Oh blah dee, oh blah da, life goes on," and then all our hands, our arms went up, even mine. Bruh. So we were all helping him and stuff like that. We were singing "Let It Be." We were singing Lady Madonna. We were singing just everything with him that we didn't think he was going to be able to do. And then and that story about Obla Di Obla Da, I don't know if you guys know it or not, but I guess when they in the Beatles when they were filming one of the I think it was Hard Day's Night or something like that, and they were in the Bahamas, and Ringo had mentioned something about, oh, it's a hard day's night or something like that, and whatever. I don't know what the story was, but Paul remembers this one old Bahama guy. He said, "Oh blah dee, oh blah da, life goes on, brah." So he put that in the song. So that was from the old Bahama guy. So it's cute. It's cute to be in there. Um, and so we were all doing stuff like that. And then during Hey Jude, he came down to the other piano that was on the floor, and he sang Hey Jude, and then he got up and he's like, okay, let's all sing this part and whatever, and he was conducting us to sing Hey Jude. um the guy sing, and he was so cute. He was doing stuff like this, and for the guys, and and the women, he was doing stuff like that, like that. It was so cute. um Saying it was such a sweet sound and whatever. And it was kind of neat. For Let It Be, we were all doing the lights on our phones, and he thanked everybody for the lights, and how special that was and everything. And what else happened? Oh, and then I asked my friends. I said, "Could you please, because I don't know how much juice I'm going to have, but I need to have you please film Golden Slumbers, because that's my favorite song." And that's not until the end. He does Golden Slumbers, Carry That Weight, and then the end, at the end. So many songs he sang. So we were like filming and taking pictures and dancing and stuff, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I don't think we're going to have any juice." So he almost missed taking it, but he oh yeah, I said, "Joe, he's gonna sing it." So he took his camera and he got Golden Slumbers for me. Um, that's all I wanted. I didn't want the rest of it, but just hearing him sing Golden Slumbers. But it was so sad because he's like, Golden Slumbers, and I just feel bad because he's getting old. And he's just whacked out his voice. He gave us so many years of beautiful music and rock and roll and whatever, so many years, and his voice has taken a toll. So anyway, so he sang that, and then he came down and they did the carry that weight, and uh he put on a guitar, and it was so cool because all three of the guys, I mean, it starts and you can hear it on the Beatles album too. Paul McCartney's first guitar solo, and then the other guy is, the next one, and then the other guy's the next one. So they take turns. So it's always Paul McCartney's at first. And he can, I mean, he can really wail on that guitar. He was a guitar player all his life. He'd play the guitar, piano, and I think, did he do it? His dad did the trumpet, but I don't know if he learned the trumpet. But anyway, so he was the guitar player. And when they got in the Beatles, they said, well, we need a bass player. Because I think Stuart Sutcliffe, I think, was the bass player at the time. And he left. So they said, we need a bass player. So John and George didn't want to do it. So Paul was elected. And boy, what a great decision that was, because he is the bass man of all times. I mean, if you really listen, now they have online, they isolate the bass for him, and you could hear, oh my God, it's melodic. I mean, he's just the greatest bass player, the greatest everything. But his guitar playing, oh my God, he's up there with the best of them. Oh, and he did a nod to Jimi Hendrix, and he told the story of Jimi Hendrix and how he first met him, and he's a big fan of Jimi Hendrix. So he did a little foxy lady there in the beginning, and he's great. He's great. My brother would have liked that because he loved Jimi Hendrix. But anyway, so he did all that, and then of course the very last line that he sang was from the end. And in the end, the love you take, and he's going like this, is equal to the love you make. And then we're all singing, ah. But he still did that, yeah, 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 at the end. And it was just so cool, so moving. Live and Let Die was like, if you were young, he was up on the piano, and your heart wasn't open. No, you did, you did, yeah, you know I did. In this ever-changing world, unless you live in, makes you give it a cry. Say, live and let die. And the guy next to me and me, we were going, boom, boom, boom. I mean, then all the explosions and all the lights and do 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 do. I mean, it was fantastic. And I kept thinking, wow, I hope he doesn't get hurt by any of these things. That's probably why he was on that piano up there. Um, but no, it was a great show. They did a great, performance. The horny guys were great. The guy in the keyboard was great. Oh, and then they came down, and part of the show the drummer came down with a little drum set, tom set there, and the keyboard player came down with an accordion and some other stuff, a percussion, and Paul on his guitar, and the two guys on their guitars, and they started singing all the really old tunes, like the first one, "In Spite of All the Danger" with the Beatles. And that was a cool sing along for us because, it goes, "In spite of all the danger," and then we go, "Oh, I can do anything for you, anything you want me to, if you were true to me." So, but that, oh, we all sang. I mean, they lit the lights, and we all sang, and it was great. It really was. I mean, they did "Love Me Do." They did, I don't know. I can't remember. Just they did a lot of Beatles songs. Um, they did "Jet," "Wings." What other "Wings" ones did they do? Oh, just a whole bunch. Um, but they did, I think, mostly Beatles songs. I was hoping Ringo Starr would be there because he was done with his tour. Nah. Why go to Columbus? He's probably going to go. I would say he would probably go to Chicago, which is the last of the tour, last 2 days of the tour in Chicago. So if Ringo Starr is going to pop up at all, it'll be there. If. He read some signs. People were holding up signs. He's just, he's so charming. He's so, adorable. So then after the concert, I was feeling like somebody beat the crap out of me. I mean, just standing up and trying to sit down and then stand up again and then turning around and my knees hitting the guy's seat in front of me. I mean, and then just standing up for so long, walking back and forth to the thing. I felt like somebody punched me in the gut. On the way home, those two were just like running, almost running to the hotel. And I was like, you guys, I can't move my legs. I mean, I was done. I was done after standing for an hour and a half, standing to get merchandise, standing, running around the arena. Then afterward, after we got out of there, moo moo, trying to get out of there, they wanted to go see if we can watch him leave. So I'm like, you guys, he's not going to be there. It was like a good 20 minutes to a half hour because then we stopped at the concession stand to get some water, and then after moo 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 trying to get out of there. And by the time I mean, they were running to the back, and I was just like, dragging. And we asked, there were a couple people there, and we asked the guy, the um, parking lot guy, we said, so he goes, "You waiting for Paul McCartney?" And I said, "Yeah." So when's he coming out? And he said, "He's been out. He left. A guy like him, he doesn't stay. He goes in the back, does his thing, and gets in the limo and police escort, and they drive away." So really, just like at a baseball game or something, if you leave early to fight the traffic, well, that's what we would have had to have done. And there's no way I was going to do that. There's no way, because we don't know for sure when he was going to come out, and there's no way I was going to miss any inkling of that concert, any little yeet of that concert. So we missed him. And my one friend, she's like, "I don't believe that guy. I don't trust him. I think he's still coming out." I said, "No, he's gone. He's gone, man. I mean, if I was him, and think about back in the Beatles when they ran out of there, so fast. I mean, he probably did the same thing. I'm sure he got out, he got there, changed his shirt or something, wiped his face, went potty, and left. I'm sure he left right away. But anyway, but it was fun while it lasted. But man, I mean, I stopped right before I got to the hotel. I stopped. I could not walk anymore. My back, my knees, my everything was killing me. How could this guy who's 20 years older than me get up there and play and sing like that? The heavy guitars and everything, and how could he do that without a break? And I was sitting here suffering like crazy. Um, I think he had a back brace on because I did see a video of some guy that was right behind him, like on the side of the stage, and I think I could see a back brace, which is understandable because he's 83 years old. Who's gonna want to break their back, And it was cool though because right next to him was this big monitor, and it had all the words and stuff when he was singing. But yeah, so I stopped before I got to the thing, and I said, "You guys, I can't." I said, "I can't go anymore." I wanted them to carry me or something. I was like, "I can't carry that weight, boy. You got to carry that weight a long time." So I went in and I took an ibuprofen, the kind from the doctor, extra strength, and I took one of those, and I it had some Munchos left over from the car ride, and I ate some Munchos, and then I put my jammies on, and I was just like boom, boom. My feet were like boom, 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 and my legs, and I was just like, oh my God. I was so, I mean, I couldn't, but I was still in the glow, basking in the glow of the concert, and I was trying to post things, and I was just like, oh my God. I wasn't even really sleepy, but man, my body would not function anymore. So anyway, good night's sleep. Got up in the morning, um, checked out, and drove home. Stopped and ate breakfast, and got home probably faster. But it started snowing a little bit, so we were like, "Oh, it's snowing!" And when we and the that night when we were walking back, and I couldn't walk back, My friend said like 5 minutes later it started to pour rain. So I would have been caught in the rain if I wouldn't have left when we left. But anyway, that was my concert. That was my Paul McCartney concert. I know it's I've been talking for all this time, but being my age and just I mean, there's not very many people that I would want to see now after seeing Paul McCartney. And I don't think I want to see him again. I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to see him all hunched over next time or, in a walker or something like that or using a cane. I don't want to see that. I want to see him the way I saw him because I couldn't see him 15, 20 years ago when he was in his prime. I couldn't see him. So, not his prime, a little over his prime, but oh God, he was, I think he was the cutest when he was filming Give My Regards to Broad Street when he had that short hair, short feathered hair, all short like mine, and just I thought he was the most handsome during that time. But anyway, um, I think I would like to go see the Rolling Stones. One died already, I know, but I'd like to go see them. I'd like to go see Dolly Parton. I would love to go see Dolly Parton. I think that would be classic. Um, but that's about it. I really don't, I mean, I'd like to go see Billy Joel. I've seen Billy Joel though in concert before. I don't want to see Elton John. It's some of his songs don't, I don't know. It's not a thing with me. Um, there's really, I heard the Who were going on tour, but I kind of wasn't into them that much either. But anyway, Herman's Hermits still go around, whatever. Um, saw Rod Stewart, so there you go, another oldie but goodie. My sister really likes Brian Ferry, so I'm sure whenever he goes into her town, she's going to be seeing him. She's seen him so many times. She got him to sign her skirt and all that stuff, so it was kind of cool. Um, if you ever see Paul McCartney, don't bring a sign saying "sign my butt," because he will call you out, and then he'll say, I don't think I want to do that or something like that. I mean, he's just so cute. He's just so cute. And then he says, on second thought, like pull him down, that kind of thing. But it was a guy. It was a guy who had the sign that, don't worry, he wasn't being inappropriate um, to the ladies. But 66 years old, and I mean, I didn't see of my idols in music over the years. I did not see Karen Carpenter. Um, I saw Linda Ronstadt a couple of times. Um, I was friends with Marilyn McCoo from the Fifth Dimension down in LA. Um, and now I saw Paul McCartney. I saw Ringo Starr back in the 90s. So I did see a Beatle back then. But now I saw Paul, and I think I'm done. I think I really don't. I mean, if somebody bought me Dolly Parton tickets, I would go. I would go to see her. I think she's a legend, and I think she's a great gal. I would love to go see her before she loses her voice. Um, Vince Gill is my country idol. Vince Gill and Alan Jackson, but Alan Jackson's not. He's not touring anymore. He's ill, which is a shame. He's got the best country voice, the best. Um, anyway, so yeah, so at 66, you sit there and you go, oh, well, you have to save your money for this and that and blah, blah, blah. No, 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 you can't take it with you. You can't. So enjoy yourself. I mean, enjoy yourself. Yeah, I got all these Beatles albums and these Wings albums, and I spent a little bit of money on it, not a lot. But it's like I need that enjoyment. And of course, the joy of my life is my little grandson. I can't see him all the time. I haven't even seen him at all yet. He lives in another state. So that's the number one, well, after God, that's the number one joy in my life. but my music is right down there with it, right up there with it, I should say. So enjoy yourself with your music. If you're like me and have 400, or something, albums, and I was looking through my 45s. I have like 350 45s or so. Probably about 400 of each. And I was looking for any Beatles. I know I didn't have any Beatles albums, but I do have four 45s. I have um, Come Together, and on the other side was There's a Place or something like that. Then there was I Am the Walrus, and I can't remember what's on the back, the B side. Then I found a George Harrison from the 80s. I got my mind set on you. I got my mind set on you. So I have that one, and that one's in a cover. It's got him on his guitar, and it's got the cover. Back then they had some with covers. Anyway, so that's my story. 66. Going strong. Um do your music, guys. Do your music. And the young girl that I saw out there that had a Beatles band that she started, that kind of made me think, you know, I was in bands for so long, all my life since I was 16 years old, and why not? Not a tribute band, and not a band that you go to the bar and, just like a party band. Like, hey, do you want to just you want to have a Beatles party? Well, here's the band for you. Of course, the guys have to sing. A lot of the bands I was in, the guys weren't great singers or harmony guys. So you'd have to have some real good singers plus musicians. Um, I, of course, will sing all the Paul McCartney parts because I'll be the one singing high. Um, and he was the one singing high. Gosh, there's this song that I caught on YouTube, and I think it's on one of the I can't remember, but it's him singing. Yeah, it's on one of the Wings albums, I think. Him singing the song that he wrote for Marianne Faithfull, and it was da 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 da. Too late, tomorrow comes, and I will not be whatever. And then he was singing. I mean, it's not even a falsetto. It's just him singing high, like from here, and it was like, goodbye, goodbye, good. I mean, even higher than that. Goodbye, goodbye. I mean, such a sweet voice when he sang those high songs like that in such a sweet way. He's got such a beautiful voice, and they're calling him the man of a thousand voices because he could sing anything. I mean, there's this one girl on YouTube that was talking about how he sings. He can sing like old timey. Like he has a couple of songs on his Wings albums that he's singing like Tiny Tim. If you guys remember Tiny Tim, he was singing like him in that old style. So he can sing like that. He can he can sing low. He can sing high. He can sing beautiful ballads. He can scream rock and roll. He can do the Beatles poppy stuff. He can sing like John Lennon. He can make noises that he's made on a lot of the Beatles albums and Wings albums, just coming from his mouth. I mean, in that mouth, oh my God. Oh, have you seen his mouth in those pictures when he was like 30, 40, 50? Oh my God, his mouth is like this little pouty mouth. Oh, anyway, He's gorgeous. He's got a gorgeous voice, and he's got a gorgeous legend behind him. I mean, he's just amazing. I would go see him if I were you. I think he's got a couple more dates before Chicago, but I would go see him. It's worth it if you enjoy the Beatles and stuff as much as I do. Um, Everything else in my 60s time, um, I'm not working as much anymore. I gave my hours up for someone who wanted to work full time, and she's got a family and everything, so I wanted to give my hours up for her. So I'm not working as much anymore now. Um, which there's pros and cons to that, but anyway, don't want to get into all of that. But so yeah, being the 60s, I mean, I still have my aches and pains, and trying to think of my inspiration, my Paul McCartney, and just I'm inspired to just keep going, guys, and write in the comments about anything that you're what brings you joy in life, like what, write it in the comments. I'd like to see, um, and just be cool, man. Like Ringo says, peace and love. Whew. Anyway, okay, guys. Well, we'll do another video another time. I wanted to tell you all about the concert. Oh, and one more thing. That concert, it had kids from like 5 to 90. I'm serious. There were this couple, a boy and a girl. They looked like they were about maybe 19. They were dressed in Sergeant Pepper clothes. They were so darn cute. Oh, and then on the way back from trying to see him afterward, we passed these three young fellas, and they saw my shirt, and the one guy goes, "Oh, Paul McCartney." And I said, "Yeah, we were just at the concert." And he's like, "So were we." And he goes, I think he was gay, and he goes, "Wasn't he so cute? He's still so cute." And I said, "Oh, he's so cute." you know? And he goes, "Oh my gosh, it's just, he was adorable." And I'm just like, yeah, it was just, and this kid must have been about 25, long hair, and with a couple other guys. And it's amazing. He just speaks to everybody. I hate that speaks to, but he just, he'll just go. I mean, come on, guys. It's Paul McCartney. He wrote all the songs, okay? All the songs. So anyway, okay, guys, I'm gonna go now. So be fun, be good, be cool, and all that other stuff. Okay, bye bye. Bye bye.